everybody. I'm very happy to see you again in our Unit 4, in which we will discuss Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism in the perspective of healthcare. Let's start from Hinduism and let's shortly overview this religion. So, Hinduism is the third largest religion in the world in terms of numbers of followers, Sanatana Dharma, eternal law, the way Hindus define their overall system of belief. It is a group of religious beliefs practiced mainly in the Indian peninsula. Between the second millennium and the first centuries of the first millennium falls a period of Vedic ritual in Hinduism called Vedism. The term Vedism referred to the religious beliefs and the rituals centers in the Rig Vedas, the scriptures attributed to Indo-Aryan peoples who migrated in waves to northwest ancient India. It was characterized, among other things, by the fact that there were no images of deities and temples. Worship consisted in making offerings to the deities. The sacrifice was made in the open air and was usually a cow, bull, ram, horse, etc. The sacrifice was a thanksgiving but also a supplication. It was begged for material and spiritual matter, prosperity. Later, from Vedism emerged Brahmanism. Brahman derives from Sanskrit and is a gender-neutral metaphysical concept, ultimate reality, unchanging reality. Brahmanism developed a system of social states, a belief in the passage of souls, salvation, and the law of karma. Indeed, Brahmanism should include the importance of ritual sacrifice, the concurrent dominant position of Brahmans, the priestly caste. As for the basic concepts, the most important among the deities are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who are combined into the triad. Brahma is a constructor of the universe, but his power and creative elements come from Vishnu, a destroyer, and it is he, not Brahma, who is also the preserver and maintainer of the universe. Shiva is not less important than Vishnu. He is a complex and contradictory figure because he combines asceticism and fertility worship. Vedas are secret knowledge, the holy books of Hinduism composed of 4 parts. It is a system in which Veda's authority is taken for granted. All hermeneutics are considered points of view. Darsana. The concept of Dharma as the subject of classical teaching is a right conduct. Talking about Hinduism, one has to describe Om Aum Silap. It is a mantra, a vibration, most often chanted at the beginning or end of a yoga class. It was completely described in Vedas. It is considered a mantra that gives power, inner strength, and creativity. Although considered a unique mantra, it can be recited by anyone. Om is both a sound and a symbol, rich in meaning and depth. What are the common elements to all branches of Hinduism? These are the acknowledged authority of books, the Vedas, the doctrine of the 4 stages of life, the doctrine of reincarnation, a rich pantheon of gods, house worship, and dharma, a belief in a set of karmic laws that determine all events. What are the fundamental assumptions of Hinduism? Firstly, one should follow the principle of ahimsa, not to harm any being by deed, thought, or word. Secondly, God can be worshipped under any foreign name. Thirdly, God resides in every being. Fourthly, one must fulfill one's social and religious duty. The 10 precepts in Hinduism are not harming, steadfastness, tolerance, discipline, avoidance of theft, cleanliness, mastery of the senses, understanding, cognition, and truth and freedom from. Hinduism developed a concrete social system, a concrete social stratification, which falls down into 5 categories, 5 castes: priests, nobles and knights, farmers, merchants and craftsmen, servants, and Avarna, those who fall outside the Varna, the caste. system. Let's focus a bit on life's turning points and holidays in Hinduism. Well, of course, these are birth, wedding, and burial. According to Hinduism, one can distinguish four stages of life, and one has to also highlight the idea of reincarnation, being born again. There are great many festivals and celebrations in Hinduism. Let's focus a bit on lifestyle in Hinduism. The lifestyle of the followers of Hinduism is determined primarily by division of society into castes. The caste system determines not only occupation responsibilities, but also the way of life of individuals and groups. It is membership of a caste that has a decisive influence on who a person can be with, where they can live, and what they can eat. The caste system also determines to a large extent social contacts and interpersonal relationships. Death marks the transition from one state to another and requires concentration and attention. The more noble and right the life, the greater chance of liberation from the cycle of successive incarnations. As for cremation, for Hindus, burning the body is a usual form of burial. As for the caring for health in followers of Hinduism, it is expressed through practicing physical exercises, practicing spiritual exercises, and vegetarian diet. Talking about health and illness in Hinduism, one has to mention Ayurveda, the knowledge of life. It is a system that tries to explain health problems in a rational way. According to the principles of Ayurveda, health is not only the absence of clear symptoms of illness, but also a state of absolute well-being. Illness in Ayurveda is essentially due to imbalance. And the aim of medicine is to fully liberate a person, not just provide temporary relief. Illness can be the result of both transgressions from the previous incarnations and poor lifestyle or nutrition in the present. One has to also mention that Hinduism has developed a huge pharmacology based on plants, herbs, and minerals. Talking about health and illness in Hinduism, it is also important to mention attitude of followers of Hinduism towards organ transplantation and blood transfusion, which is not clear. However, most of them view organ transplantation and blood transfusion positively. How about the role of the nurse in caring for the pregnant and postpartum woman and child in Hinduism? It's very important to start from gaining information on Hindu customs related to pregnancy, birth and motherhood in order to deal appropriately with childbirth. It's also important to ensure that the woman giving birth and her relatives can carry out traditional ritual birth activities in a hospital setting. It is also crucial to allow the husband to attend his wife's birth and enable the family to hold a ceremony over the newborn child. The same is with helping and supporting the child in carrying out activities of daily life, preventing malnutrition in children, especially girls, and carrying out compulsory vaccinations. As for the adult patient in Hinduism, it is important to learn about the Hindu customs related to nursing and care and providing psychological support to the patient, explaining any doubts connected with the treatment. It's important to remember about the custom of not preparing and serving food with the left hand, ensuring access to food including a vegetarian diet, and ensuring that the patient is able to perform home worship rituals. As for the dying patient, one has to remember about the reincarnation, the law of karma, and the doctrine of four stages of life. It is vital to ensure that the patient's relatives can perform the ritual activities connected with death and allowing the execution of the post-mortem toilet according to Hindu custom. Last but least, important is ensuring that a suitable place is prepared for the relatives accompanying the dying.